It's Thursday, September 1. In the headlines, Minister urges Jamaicans to have a heart, a warning about the impact corruption can have on the Jamaican economy. In business, consumers to see a reduction in gas prices. Regionally, government of St. Kitts working to lower energy costs. And in sports, the Jamaica Talawas takes first blood in the Hero CPL. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I am Simone Absalom Gale. Minister with responsibility for local government and rural development, Desmond McKenzie, is disheartened by the killing of a homeless man, Lionel Johnson. He says his government, since taking office, has put in place facilities right across the country, but some feel better on the street.
We have provided resources to almost every municipality to deal with homelessness. But the reality is that there are many of them who will get the food, they will get a change of clothes, and when night comes, they go back out on the street and they sleep on the street because they feel comfortable on the street. But when someone can, without reason or reasons, set fire to a homeless person, it tells you the level in which some Jamaicans have taken lives.
He explained that becoming homeless is not an intentional thing and that we never know where we may end up one day.
Homelessness is not something that one takes onto themselves because they want to take it onto themselves. There are circumstances that have driven many persons to be living on the streets, not just here in Jamaica, but right across the world.
He notes that this senseless and heartless killing of homeless people is nothing new, but urged Jamaicans to speak out and have a heart.
I'm yet to hear any of the so-called organizations coming out condemning this brutal attack on a homeless person. And I can only say with a deep sense of hurt that this country needs to recognize that persons who fall on hard times once used to pay their taxes. Many of them helped to develop Jamaica as a country, and in this our 60th year. Let us be a little bit more kinder and caring and understanding of those persons who are in care of need. And I am urging persons who know, who see, if you're afraid to call, go to the police, come to me, tell me.
Minister McKenzie was speaking as he toured Chiswick in St. Thomas as the government readies the area for much needed development. The Chiswick community located in St. Thomas is to benefit from the Rural Development Program, spearheaded by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie toured the community on Tuesday, where he observed some of the challenges affecting residents and met with stakeholders who will be instrumental in facilitating the upgrades.
Government have promises. This is a government of fulfilling the commitments that we have given to the Jamaican people. What we are going to be rolling out in Chiswick over the next couple of months, we're going to be, first of all, dealing with Road 60, Hill 60. We will start the process to carry out the repairs to Hill 60.
Speaking with journalists following his tour, the minister said the current infrastructure of the community is non-existent. He says work will be done to give residents access to sustained water supply.
Rural Water will work with the National Water Commission to look at how to improve the water supply system to the community. As I said before, the residents are saying it is not a reliable source that they can depend on. They will have water for 2 days, and for the next 3 days there is no water. For the time being, I have given instructions to the mayor and to the municipality and the councillor that funds will be provided to truck water if there's a need for the trucking of water to the community to provide water on a daily basis. Jsc with rural electrification have already identified 100 households within the community, and the process of engagement in retrofitting these homes will commence shortly.
Member of Parliament for St. Thomas Eastern, Michelle Charles, is looking forward to her constituents getting sustained water access.
We know that the people here deserve better road, they deserve water on a regular basis, and a community centre. So I'm very grateful that you are here, Minister. I know you're a hands-on minister, and I'm glad that you are here, and I'm glad that we have a future that's bright here in Cheswick.
Representative from the private sector organization of Jamaica's Subcommittee on Security and National Justice, Lieutenant Commander George Overton, says corruption can reduce the number of present and potential business owners in Jamaica's economy. He said this while speaking at the Jamaica Customs Agency anti-corruption panel discussion on August 31.
Certainly, the impact of corruption within the customs environment, as Donovan said in his opening, tends to unlevel the play field for our entrepreneurs. If somebody deviates the process and is able to bring that same product to market significantly less because they have bypassed the process, then we see the inequity, and eventually we see the loss of participants in that marketplace.
He says public education is needed to bring awareness to these issues. He voiced his own observations about faulty processes of management. In addition, he commended the Jamaica Customs Agency while simultaneously pointing out the roles agencies themselves have in being accountable to anti-corruption measures.
So it is very important that we deal with it, we educate our people, and we constantly review our processes. One of the things that I have always said, and any agency, any activity, once you see delays, you see backlogs, you see bungling, it opens the door of opportunity for corruption. And therefore it is important, and whilst I say it's important, I commend the customs agency, because every time I have an interaction with the customs agency, it is an improved experience. And therefore, we must continue that drive across all our public sector agencies, constantly review our processes, constantly review the outcomes, and ensure that we are working efficiently, in a timely manner, and certainly eliminating the need for people to deviate the process and introduce corruption to it.
CEO of Customs Agency of Jamaica, Velma Ricketts Walker, further amplified the call to improve efficiency in process management.
Persons are continuously smart and getting smarter. And for them, the corruptors, the corruptees, their aim is to continue to beat the system. And so you have to be like the persons who do the penetration testing, or though in the ICT world where you do, legal hacking of your system. So you have to always test and see where the opportunities lies for those corruptors and ensure that you're a step ahead of them.
The discussion was held under the theme, Combating Corruption, My Fight, Your Fight, Our Fight. The Jamaica Customs Agency aims to facilitate trade, protect our borders, optimize revenue collection through collaborative border management and the delivery of high-quality customer service, to develop and maintain a team of motivated professionals and competent staff. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce is on a path to becoming ISO certified, making it the first ministry in Jamaica to do so.
So I'm pleased to report that my ministry is well on its way to achieving the ISO 9001 2015 certification as well. And at the end of July this year, we participated in our Stage 2 certification audit, and we have been recommended for certification. We lead by example, Minister. Lead by example. So we look forward in receiving our final results shortly.
Dr. Dunn was speaking at the recently held ISO ceremony by the Public Procurement Commission. The National Chest Hospital in Kingston is to benefit from a gift of $3.5 million Jamaican dollars from the Ral Rosa Foundation to purchase much-needed medical equipment. President of Health Concepts International and chair of the Ral Rosa Foundation fundraiser, which took place in June, Dr. Jackie Watson, said the proceeds from the inaugural event would be handed over on Thursday, September 1. The National Chest Hospital is expected to purchase a portable diagnostic ultrasound machine and a portable desktop spirometer for lung assessments. The fundraiser was held at the Washington, D.C. Hillwood Estate Museum and Gardens, the former residence of late businesswoman, socialite, philanthropist, and art collector Marjorie Merriweather Post. In the business report, gas prices are down. We have more on this, plus other market updates from Danita Rodney.
Motorists will once again pay less for gas when they go to the pumps, as state-owned oil refinery Petrojam says E1087 and 90-octane gasoline is to move down by $4.50 to sell for $201.66 and $205.63 per liter respectively. Automotive diesel oil will move up by $4.50 per liter to sell for $238.26. Continuing with the $4.50 increase, ultra-low sulfur diesel will sell for $245.24 per liter, and kerosene will sell for $216.80. In the meantime, propane cooking gas will move up by $2 to sell for $67.90 per liter, while butane will move up by $1.50 to sell for $76.75 per liter. Remember that retailers will add their own markups to the announced prices. The Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, JCC, says it wants to see transitioning of redevelopment efforts to other urban centers across the island. Focused on creating an environment which allows for improved structures and for businesses to thrive and move forward, the Chamber, supported by public and private sectors and international donor agencies, have all ramped up efforts to get this objective off the ground. The ongoing redevelopment activities in downtown Kingston is to serve as a catalyst for other renewal projects. For your market updates, in foreign exchange trading for Wednesday, August 31, the US dollar sold for an average of $151.60. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $117.45. The pound sterling traded for $176.45, and the euro sold for an average of $153.71. The following reflects the movement of the Jsc Indices in Wednesday's trading session. The Jsc Index declined by 474 points to close at over 300,000 units. The Junior Market Index declined by 2 points to close at over 4,000 units. The Combined Market Index declined by 462 points to close at over 300,000 units. And the All Jamaican Composite Index advanced by 146 points to close at over 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 107 stocks, of which 47 advanced, 42 declined, and 18 traded firm. Stocks advanced for 1834 Investments Limited, Blue Power Group Limited, and Caribbean Assurance Brokers Limited. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited, Access Financial Services Limited, and AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited. Trading firm were 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited Variable Preference, CAC 2000 9.5% Cumulative Redeemable Preference Shares, and EPLI 7.50% Preference Shares due 2024. The overall volume leaders were Fosrich Company Limited and Mailpack Group Limited with over 20 million units, and JMMB Group Limited with over 8 million units. In regional stocks, in Trinidad and Tobago, zero securities were traded. On the Barbados Stock Exchange, zero securities were traded. In market data for oil prices tumbled as new COVID-19 lockdown measures in China added to worries that high inflation and interest rate hikes are denting fuel demand. Brent crude futures fell $2.10 to $93.54 a barrel, and West Texas Intermediate crude futures slid $1.86 to $87.69 a barrel. And that was the business report on PBCJ. I'm Danita Rodney.
In regional news, we start with St. Kitts and Nevis, where the government has agreed to facilitate the payment of the electricity company's fuel cost to enable lower energy costs for residents. This was disclosed in a post-cabinet briefing this week. They also gave information on steps taken in the marijuana industry.
During their meeting, Cabinet discussed several matters of national importance to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The following are the outcomes of these discussions. The Cabinet agreed in principle to facilitate the payment of the St. Kitts Electricity Company's fuel costs in order to enable lower energy costs for the residents on St. Kitts.
Several steps were also taken in relation to initiating the medical marijuana industry.
The Cabinet has decided to take the following steps with respect to the marijuana issue: to review the laws decriminalizing possession and cultivation of certain quantities of marijuana in the Federation, to initiate the long-anticipated medical marijuana industry to create entrepreneurs, economic activity, and to diversify the Federation's tourism product, to table legislation to permit the court to expunge the criminal records of persons convicted in the past of minor marijuana-related offenses, and to instruct the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force to respect the current cannabis-related laws and the constitutional rights declared in the May 2019 decision of the High Court in Ras Sankofa Maccabee versus the Commissioner of Police and the Attorney General. Additionally, the Cabinet agreed to initiate the restoration and the transformation project for converting the home of the nation's first national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Robert Llewellyn-Bradshaw, into a museum. The Cabinet discussed important measures to further strengthen and enhance the world's longest-standing citizenship by investment program.
Following the Amalgamated Union's decision to accept the Chief Personnel Officer's 4% wage offer, the union leader is being labeled a traitor. The expression was made at a news conference where the National Trade Union Center and the Joint Trade Union Movement cut ties with the union. Otto Carrington tells us more in this report.
Jesus says that someone around the table is going to betray me. Judas was the first person that asked the question, "Is it I, Master?" And he left immediately and betrayed Christ for 30 pieces of silver. In Prentice, the president of Amalgamated, Judas did much better than him, because Judas had taken 30 pieces of silver, but Prentice took 4.
A split among the ranks of the labor movement after the Amalgamated Workers Union agreed to accept the Chief Personnel Officer's 4% wage increase offer. Despite mounting protests by the trade union movement against the offer, the union, which represents Port of Spain City Corporation workers, signed on the dotted line. The labor movement says the Amalgamated Workers Union never informed them about their decision, and members are now asking if something was passed under the table. CNC3 News understands that a meeting with JTUM and the Amalgamated Workers Union last evening came to a sudden end when JTUM members walked out. JTUM President General Ansel Roger, in a press briefing today, made it clear that JTUM has officially distanced itself from Michael Prentice and his union.
We want to distance ourselves, that's JTUM, from what was signed and accepted yesterday. That's a matter for him and his members. but we verily believe that his members are not aware of the folly that took place and the danger and the injustice to them as a result of accepting a 4%.
The president of the Amalgamated Workers Union has openly supported the labor movement against the 4% offer. Speaking exclusively to CNC3 News, President Michael Prentice defended his decision, but was disappointed in the way his fellow union leaders have treated him.
I am no traitor. I am no different. If I am a traitor today, I have colleagues out there who are bigger traitor in this country because they jump like a grasshopper from one side of the fence to the other. I haven't been to one side or the other. I have been straight, frank, open. I believe that I am strong. I am determined to be resolute in the decision taken and defended because I strongly believe with all conviction that the decision taken is the absolutely right one for the moment at this time.
The unions are expected to meet with the Chief Personnel Officer on September 2nd. Otto Carrington, CNC3 News.
The Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU, says it will take the Trinidad and Tobago government to the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, regarding the non-payment of millions of US dollars linked to the collapse of Trinidad-based insurance companies Eccu and British-American insurance company Baico in 2009. Chairman of the ECCU Subcommittee on Insurance, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown says the decision to take the Keith Rowley administration before the Port of Spain-based CCJ was taken over the last weekend after a meeting of the members of the ECCU group agreed unanimously to take the Trinidad and Tobago government to court after 3 failed attempts to get them to pay the outstanding funds. In international news, the U.S. Justice Department says it has evidence former President Donald Trump's team was hiding classified files at his Florida home. It also says his advisors were obstructing an investigation into whether he illegally removed top-secret documents from the White House. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher reports.
It's a remarkable photo, documents recovered by the FBI from its raid on the Florida home of former President Donald Trump. Some marked in bright red or yellow top secret, and if you look closely, others marked HCS, highly classified papers, which could have details on American spies or secret human sources. The August 8th raid came after repeated efforts by the authorities to have Trump's team return documents taken when he left the White House. Trump's lawyers claimed they had made a diligent search and they had nothing that needed to be returned, but the raid uncovered more than 100 classified documents, not just in the storage area at Mar-a-Lago, but in the ex-president's desk. The filing stating that government records were likely concealed and removed and that efforts were taken to obstruct the government's investigation.
The idea that he didn't know he was holding on to classified information and they were sitting in his desk, in his office, not just in the storage room, it's very hard to make the argument.
On Truth Social, the ex-president's social media channel, he offered up a line of defence. Terrible the way the FBI, during the raid of Mar-a-Lago, threw documents haphazardly all over the floor, perhaps pretending it was me that did it, and then started taking pictures of them for the public to see. Thought they wanted them kept secret. Lucky I declassified. But while running for president in 2016, he attacked Hillary Clinton's handling of sensitive documents, insisting no one was above the law.
My administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information.
Some of what was recovered from Mar-a-Lago was so sensitive, according to the court filing, even the FBI counterintelligence personnel and DOJ attorneys conducting the review required additional clearance before they were permitted to review certain documents. Trump's team have filed a request for a special master, an independent set of eyes, saying the FBI seized documents to which they had no legal right. But the Department of Justice says all the documents have now been reviewed, that none need to be returned because they belong to the government, not to one individual, and that Donald Trump never declassified them. And that is what could put the ex-president and his team at legal jeopardy.
In sports, in last night's opening match of the men's CPL fixture, Jamaica Tallawahs defeated defending champs St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots by 47 runs at Warner Park in St. Kitts. Tallawahs batted first and made 183 for 2 of their 20 overs. Player of the match, Brandon King, slammed 89 with 8 fours and 6 sixes, while Kennard Lewis added 48 as those two put on 116 for the opening stand. Skipper Rovman Powell muscled 30 not out at the end of the innings of just 15 deliveries. That included a 4 and 3 sixes. In reply, the Patriots only got up to 136 for 8 from their 20 overs. Sharfain Rutherford got the top score of 33 with 4 sixes. Nicholas Gordon took 3 for 32. Earlier, Barbados Royals lost a thrilling opening women's Hero CPL match by 1 run, defeated by rivals Trinbago Knight Riders. TKR batted first and were restricted to 114 for 7 of their 20 overs. Player of the match, Leanne Kirby, top scored with 30. That included 3 fours and 2 sixes. While the captain Deandra Dottin added 20, so too did Haley Jensen, who was unbeaten. Shakira Selman took 2 for 16, while skipper Haley Matthews bagged 2 for 28. The Royals, needing 4 to win off the final delivery, ended on 113 for 7. Chloe Tryon top scored with 38 inclusive of 3 fours and 3 sixes. Kirby took 2 for 32, while Dottin, who bowled the final over, took 1 for 19. Today in the men's competition, St. Lucia Kings are playing against Trinbago Knight Riders, which started at 9 a.m., while in the 6 p.m. fixture it will be Barbados Royals versus the Pats. In the women's competition at 2 p.m., it will be TKR versus Guyana Amazon Warriors. A video of a Down syndrome woman celebrating her first paycheck has gotten more than 4 million views on social media. She works for an ice cream shop that has made it part of its mission to hire people with disabilities.
Good afternoon!
Inside Howdy Homemade Ice Cream, you'll find Dale Beck.
Here's your chocolate milkshake. Thank you so much. You're welcome.
The 28-year-old with Down syndrome,
oh, hey, Mama.
capturing the heart of social media users in this video.
I got shit.
You got what?
My first shit.
No way. What do you think about that?
Perfect.
And it was just so heartwarming. Yeah. You could see how proud Dale was of this accomplishment, and you could see how proud her mother was of her daughter.
You're a grown woman now.
I know, Mama. 1, 2, 3.
We stopped in to talk with Beck about the viral moment.
I love it here because it's a nice place.
Her authentic moment emphasizing the brand's mission to create jobs for people with special needs.
82% of disabled adults do not work. And we believe a big reason for that is insufficient opportunity. So we're all about giving disabled adults a chance to show what they can do.
How you feel about this check?
Happy.
In the midst of the day-to-day and the stresses of working this business, and you wonder, my gosh, what have we gotten ourselves into? When I watched Dale's video, it was a full stop moment where you go, wait a minute, we're doing the right thing. Stay the course.
You want to pour it right straight out of the corner? Wow.
Now the Arden location currently employs 12 people with special needs.
And that's the news on PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.